All right, so let's take a trip back in time, shall we? Back to 18th century England. Think powdered wigs, secret gatherings, and a society utterly obsessed with reputation. And it's in this world of elegance and intrigue, that we find the Hellfire Club, a secret society shrouded in whispers of debauchery and scandal. You asked for the truth behind the legend, and we aimed to please, so we dug deep. We've got historical accounts, artistic interpretations, even modern-day ghost stories from the actual Hellfire caves,
True.
ready to separate fact from fiction.
What always gets me about the Hellfire Club is how it embodies this clash between the era's scientific enlightenment and this lingering fascination with the occult. We often think of these as separate forces, but the Hellfire Club, they seem to blend them in a very, very intriguing way.
It's like they were living double lives,
Yeah,
you know, embracing reason by day and indulging in the forbidden by night.
precisely, precisely. And remember, public image was everything, paramount for the elite in those days. They were expected to maintain a certain decorum, especially in established settings like coffee houses and gentlemen's clubs. This is what makes the Hellfire Club even more fascinating, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely.
It offered this hidden space where these men could supposedly shed their societal constraints and embrace, a different side of themselves.
And the mastermind behind this secret world, Sir Francis Dashwood. Now, he wasn't content with just meeting in a back room somewhere. No, he literally carved out a network of caves beneath a church on his estate. It's almost theatrical, don't you think? Like he was creating a physical manifestation of their descent into the underworld.
Oh, it's a powerful image, very powerful. It speaks volumes about Dashua's personality. He was known for his flamboyance, his penchant for pushing boundaries, and taking on the persona of an abbot and leading his group called monks in these mock rituals and revelry. It just adds to this image of calculated rebellion.
It's like he was playing a role, deliberately crafting this image of a decadent, rebellious figure. And we have to talk about that infamous portrait of Dashwood by William Hogarth. It shows Dashwood pointing towards this tiny, naked woman in the caves, surrounded by all these symbols of excess. Was he really living up to his reputation, or was this all part of the performance?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Hogarth's portrait, it certainly plays into this scandalous image of the club. But is it an accurate depiction of what went on, or is it an exaggeration, meant to satirize the elite and their hidden lives? It's difficult to say for sure.
It's like trying to separate fact from fiction in a game of whispers. Each retelling just adds another layer of intrigue and uncertainty. But one thing that comes through clearly is that the Hellfire Club wasn't just about wild parties. No, it was also a stage for power dynamics, social climbing.
Absolutely, absolutely. The story of John Wilkes and the Earl of Sandwich highlights this perfectly. Wilkes, a radical politician and someone considered an outsider by the established elite, he managed to gain entry into this exclusive club. And this immediately created tension with the Earl of Sandwich, a staunch member of the aristocracy. Their clash, born from social and political divides, it ultimately spilled over into the public sphere, becoming a scandal that rocked the nation.
And that's where things take a truly fascinating turn. The story goes that Wilkes, as part of an initiation prank, hit a monkey. A monkey dressed as the devil in a chest, intending to frighten the Earl of Sandwich. Now, whether this actually happened is debatable, but it perfectly encapsulates the rivalry, the clash of personalities within the club.
What's important here, I think, isn't necessarily the truth of the anecdote, but what it reveals about the dynamics of the group. It highlights Wilkes's willingness to challenge the status quo, even within this exclusive circle. And his actions had consequences. Sandwich retaliated by publicly reading Wilkes's private and rather explicit poetry in Parliament. This led to Wilkes being charged with seditious libel, a crime that essentially criminalized criticism of the government.
So this incident wasn't just a personal squabble. It exposed the political undercurrents within the Hellfire Club and how those private gatherings could have real-world implications. It also reveals a lot about the power dynamics of the time. Wilkes, despite his wit and intellect, was ultimately brought down by a system that protected the privileged.
Precisely. This incident significantly contributed to the decline of Dashwood's Hellfire Club in the 1760s. The scandals surrounding its members, once whispered about in hushed tones, became too big to ignore. The club's activities, once seen as private indulgences, they became liabilities in the public eye. It was a stark reminder that even the most exclusive circles were not immune to the scrutiny of society, especially when their actions cross the line into the political arena.
It's interesting how this incident with Wilkes and Sandwich, brought the Hellfire Club's activities into the harsh light of public scrutiny. What was once hidden, shrouded in secrecy, became a public spectacle, and not in a good way. But even though Dashwood's club kind of faded from the scene, the idea of the Hellfire Club, this image of a secret society pushing boundaries, indulging in the forbidden, it's captured imaginations for centuries.
It's a testament to the enduring power of mystery, the allure of the unknown, you know? The Hellfire Club, despite its relatively short lifespan, it's become this symbol of a certain kind of rebellious spirit, a challenge to societal norms. It's a story that taps into our fascination with what goes on behind closed doors, especially among the elite and powerful.
And that fascination, it extends beyond the historical facts.
Yeah.
We had a lot of questions from you about the modern day ghost stories surrounding the Hellfire Cave. So we decided to dig a little deeper into that aspect as well.
It's intriguing how a place steeped in history and rumored debauchery can become this breeding ground for paranormal tales. It's almost as if the past just refuses to stay buried.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
and we actually sent our producer Charlotte down to the Hellfire Caves to investigate these modern day mysteries. She spoke with Willow Randall, the general manager of the caves, and Willow shared some intriguing stories at the site and its resident spirits.
This is where the narrative takes a fascinating turn when you say it.
Oh, I think so.
We're moving from documented history, verified accounts, to the realm of personal experiences, anecdotal evidence. It adds another layer of intrigue to an already captivating story.
So Charlotte spoke with Willow about Suki, who is arguably the the most famous ghost associated with the Hellfire Caves.
Yeah.
Willow described her as a white lady who appears either as a wisp of smoke or as a full-bodied apparition. The story goes that Suki was a maid at the local pub back in the 1820s, and she fell for this charming lord who promised to run away with her.
It's a classic tale, of love and betrayal set against the backdrop of these mysterious caves. According to Willow, Suki received a note instructing her to meet her supposed lover at the caves. She dressed in her finest white dress and headed down there with a lantern full of anticipation. But instead of finding her beloved, she encountered a group of village boys who had tricked her, as a cruel prank.
That's heartbreaking. It's easy to imagine how devastated she must have been, standing there in the darkness, realizing she'd been made a fool of.
And sadly, the story doesn't end there. According to Willow, Suki, in her anger and humiliation, she threw rocks at the boys, and they retaliated by throwing rocks back at her. Tragically, one of the rocks struck Suki in the head, and there are varying accounts of whether she died instantly or was left to die by the boys, or managed to make it back to the surface before succumbing to her injury.
It's a chilling tale, and it's understandable how such a tragic event could fuel stories of a lingering presence.
Precisely. And Willem mentioned that visitors to the caves often report experiencing strange occurrences. Some claim to have seen apparitions, others hear disembodied voices. Many feel a general sense of unease.
It's like the caves themselves have absorbed the energy of all those who have passed through them, both the living and the dead. So do you believe these stories? Are the Hellfire Caves truly haunted?
I think it's important to approach such accounts with a healthy dose of skepticism. We can't discount the power of suggestion, especially in a place like the Hellfire Caves, where visitors already come with certain expectations, preconceived notions. The human mind is incredibly powerful, and it's easy to misinterpret sensory experiences in an environment that is already steeped in stories of mystery and the supernatural.
That's a good point. But even if we set aside the paranormal aspects, there's something undeniably compelling about the Hellfire Club and its enduring legacy. It seems to tap into our fascination with the darker side of human nature, the desire to break free from societal constraints and explore the forbidden.
It's a story that forces us to confront the complexities of power, privilege, and the consequences of unchecked indulgence. The Hellfire Club, despite its shroud of secrecy and scandal, it offers us a glimpse into the human condition,
Yeah.
reminding us that the lines between morality and transgression can be blurry, and the allure of the forbidden is a powerful force.
it makes you wonder if beneath the surface of respectability, we all harbor a bit of that rebellious spirit, that desire to push boundaries and explore the shadows.
Perhaps the Hellfire Club, it serves as a cautionary tale, but also as a reminder that history is not always, black and white. It's full of shades of gray, and sometimes the most compelling stories are those that make us question our assumptions and confront the darker aspects of human nature.
It's fascinating to think about how the story of the Hellfire Club would play out in today's world. Imagine the whispers and speculation swirling around in the age of social media and instant news.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Can you imagine the conspiracy theories that would emerge? The Hellfire Club of the 21st century. It would be a social media phenomenon, with every leaked photo and cryptic tweet just analyzed for hidden meanings.
Right. And think about how our understanding of secrecy and power has evolved. Back in the 18th century, it was all about hidden gatherings and whispered rumors. Today it's about data breaches, surveillance, the manipulation of information.
It's a different kind of underworld, isn't it? And in a way, the Hellfire Club, with its themes of hidden agendas and the abuse of power, it feels eerily relevant to our modern concerns.
It's a reminder that even though the methods may change, the fundamental dynamics of power, secrecy, influence, they persist.
Precisely, and it highlights the importance of critical thinking. Now more than ever, we're bombarded with information from all sides, and it's crucial to be able to discern fact from fiction, to question the narratives we're presented with, and to hold those in power accountable.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the Hellfire Club, what's the key takeaway you'd like to leave our listeners with?
I think the most important thing to remember is that history is not just a collection of dusty stories and forgotten scandals. It's a living, breathing narrative that continues to shape our present. The Hellfire Club, with all its mystery and intrigue, it reminds us that the past is never truly gone. It informs our understanding of the present, and can even offer insights into the challenges we face today.
It's a reminder that human nature, with its complexities and contradictions, it's a constant throughout history.
Exactly. And by understanding the past, by grappling with its complexities, we can better equip ourselves to navigate the present, and perhaps even shape the future.
Well said. Well said. So to our listeners, we encourage you to delve deeper into the stories that pique your interest. Question assumptions, challenge narratives, and draw your own conclusions.
And if you ever find yourself in Buckinghamshire, consider venturing down into the Hellfire Caves. Just be sure to listen closely. You never know what echoes of the past might still linger in those shadowy depths.
And with that thought-provoking image, we'll conclude our deep dive into the Hellfire Club. We hope this exploration has sparked your curiosity and inspired you to keep seeking knowledge and understanding. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.